Once upon a time, in the heart of Umuko village, there was a woman named Mama Adana who had a baby girl, her only daughter, Adana. When Adana was born, people knew immediately she was not like other children. Her skin had a soft glow, almost like early morning dew. Her hair shone like wet black silk, even though it never touched water. And sometimes, when she cried as a baby, the sound resembled the quiet hum of flowing river water. At first, villagers thought it was nothing, just a special child. But then they noticed something strange. Mama Adana never bathed her daughter. Ever. Not even wiping her face. Not rinsing her hands. Not washing her feet after she crawled in dust. At first, people laughed. Oh, is she raising a goat? This woman wants to spoil the child. Maybe she is not normal. But laughter turned into suspicion. Whenever other toddlers played around puddles after the rain, Adana was held tightly at her mother's back. When young girls followed their mothers to the stream, Adana stayed inside. When it was time for swimming festivals, Mama Adana locked the door. Everyone noticed. Children avoided her. Women gossiped about her. Men shook their heads whenever they passed her compound. Soon, the pressure became too much. Mama Adana couldn't hide the stares, the insults, the constant judgment. So one night, before dawn, she packed her things and moved with Adana to the outskirts of the village. Not too far, she still came to the market every 4 days, but far enough to keep people out of her business. Still, the whispers followed her. Adana grew, and so did the mystery. Years passed. Adana became a young woman, breathtakingly beautiful. Her skin, despite never being washed, glowed like polished bronze. Her hair flowed like a river's shadow. Her eyes were calm but deep, almost too deep. Sometimes the villagers saw her in the market, walking beside her mother closely like a shadow. Never touching water. Never washing her hands after touching food. Never sweating, even under hot sun. People spoke even louder. 20-something years, and still no bathing. This is not ordinary. Oh. Something is wrong with that girl. Mama Adana never answered anyone. She simply held her daughter tighter. She alone knew the price she had paid. One rainy evening, a storm hit Umuko without warning. Thunder cracked like angry spirits. Wind blew roofs and sent palm fronds flying. Mama Adana rushed to shut the windows, but she slipped, hitting her leg hard against a low stool. A sharp cry escaped her lips, and she clutched her leg. Adana ran to her side. "Mama, let me close the windows." "Stop," her mother snapped, fear trembling in her voice. "Don't go near the rain." But despite the pain, she dragged herself across the room, forcing every door and window shut with trembling hands. By the time she finished, she was shaking and pale, but the rain hadn't touched Adana. The strange fear on her mother's face stayed in Adana's mind. It refused to let her sleep. And in the quiet dark, she finally asked, "Mama, what will happen if water touches me?" Silence. Then slow, painful truth. Many years ago, she and her husband had longed for a child. After trying every healer, every sacrifice, every herb, they turned in desperation to the water god at midnight. He listened. He granted them a child. But he hid the price. For months after she conceived, Adana's father collapsed and never woke again. Villagers said sickness. Mama knew better. The water god had taken his share. And he had left a warning. Do not allow water to touch the child until her destiny calls her. If water touches her too early, she will return to me forever. She is mine. The more Mama spoke, the more her voice broke. She had lived in fear for decades, hiding her daughter from even raindrops, shielding her from a destiny she didn't understand. When she finished, Adana held her hand gently. "Mama, I am grown now. I understand. I will be careful. I want to live, not hide. Trust me. Against her fear, Mama Adana nodded. And so the next morning, for the first time in her life, Adana stepped out alone. Villagers paused mid-step. Some gasped. Some greeted her cautiously. But she simply smiled and walked on. Soon she met Obinna and Amora, childhood friends who welcomed her with warmth and curiosity. Obinna was kind and gentle, always finding reasons to walk beside her. Amora, lively and clever, grew close to her quickly. To Adana, it felt like discovering a sister she never had. But while Adana opened her heart, Amora hid hers. For Amora had always loved Obinna, and Obinna's eyes were now on Adana. Jealousy dug its claws deep. It started innocently. One afternoon, as the girls rested under an udala tree, Amora tilted her head and asked, almost casually, "Adana, why don't you ever touch water? Even to wash your hands? People are talking." Her tone was soft, curious, harmless. Adana hesitated at first, but Amora's eyes were warm, and her smile looked sincere. She felt safe. She felt understood. So she opened her heart. She told Amora about her strange birth, about her father's death, about her mother's warning, about the curse that hung over her life like a shadow. She spoke in a whisper, afraid of being mocked, but Amora held her hand and nodded slowly, pretending to be touched. But inside her heart, she rejoiced. She finally had something powerful. A secret she could twist. A weakness she could use. And that same night, jealousy hardened into decision. Days later, she told Adana she wanted to show her a beautiful place by the riverbank. "We won't go near the water," she promised, voice sweet as palm wine. "Just to look." Adana believed her. They walked together, hand in hand, like sisters. But when they reached the river, Amora's smile tightened. She told Adana to stand on a small flat rock near the edge while she fetched something. And the moment Adana turned her head, Amora shoved her with both hands. Adana slipped. The water swallowed her whole. Amora didn't scream. She didn't run. She simply stood still, breathing hard, waiting for the river to claim its prize so her path to Obinna would be clear. But the river began to churn violently. The sky darkened. A deep rumble rose from beneath the surface as though the water itself rejected what had happened. And then, the impossible occurred. Adana emerged, not drowning, not fading, but glowing like moonlit water. The curse had shattered. Because her fall was not destiny. It was treachery. The water god's voice echoed through the crashing waves only she could hear. Evil cannot claim what innocence protects. You were not taken by fate, but pushed by jealousy. You are free. The water released her gently onto the riverbank. Amora fell to her knees, trembling, unable to understand how the river had spared her. Adana looked at her, not with anger, but with a sadness that pierced deeper than hate. "All I wanted was a friend," she whispered. Obinna and other villagers, drawn by the storming river, arrived in time to see Amora confess through tears and Adana standing radiant and unharmed. And for the first time, Adana touched the river with her own hand, cool, cleansing, harmless. The curse was gone. But the lesson remained. The village learned not to judge what they didn't understand. Mama Adana learned that love cannot hide a child forever. And Adana learned that not every smiling face is a loyal heart. But she also learned that destiny, no matter how twisted, can be rewritten. She returned home, water drying on her skin, ready to live, not in fear, but in freedom. And Mama Adana, seeing her daughter alive and glowing, wept until her body shook. This time, with relief. Some said the water god watched over her. Some said destiny had changed its mind. But Adana knew the truth. Moral of the story: don't judge a person's actions when you don't know the battles they are fighting. Every blessing comes with a price. Be careful where you seek help. A mother's love is powerful, sometimes stronger than destiny itself. Jealousy and betrayal can never triumph over a pure heart. Protect what is precious, and trust carefully, for not everyone who smiles is a friend. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more epic tales. Your support means a lot to me. Now tell me in the comments. If you were in Adana's place, would you have trusted Amora with your secret, or would you have kept it hidden forever? Why?